Today we're going to continue working on the Suzuki 250R. Previous videos we took care of the front end where we put new we rebuilt the hubs, got some fresh bearings and bushings in there, new front brakes all the way up. We took care of the steering stem, got that nice and tight, and new tires. Also took care of the alignment. It's no longer like, you know, cross-eyed. Today is going to be a little more engine based and basically maintenance on things that help her run. I'm going to bring you in closer and show you, like, this throttle cable isn't even hooked. So I'm hoping I can maybe rethread that, Healy coil it. I do have a new cable, try and get that in there because the electrical tape fix is it's expired. So we're trying to fix that right. I'd like to keep the stock throttle. You know, it fits the bike well. It is Suzuki. Would like that. They do make cheap ones. You know, I mean, throttles can be very expensive. But you can find cheap ones like on Amazon or eBay. But really, I would never go cheap here because the last thing I want to happen is a throttle issue while I'm ripping through the trails. Clutch, we're going to change that cable and the lever because it is tight. I can't really show you. I mean, I'm flexing. If you come down here, so here's our throttle cable. It's not running through the frame properly. We have wires that are just not secured. Here's our wire from the coil. It's about 12 feet long. We really don't need that length, so we're going to trim that down. The outside of the carb. She does leak a little bit if I leave the fuel on, which is kind of telling me like the bowls are overflowing. But it's not horrible. But we're going to get that in the crock pot. Go back up here to the handlebars. So the bike doesn't have an ignition. It doesn't have headlight switch. Doesn't have any of that. All it's got is this press and hold to kill me. And those wires are right here. Here's the rest of the wires. So all I'm going to do is, I'm not cutting them off, I'm not cutting them out. I'm just going to secure everything up real good. Much gooder than this. And then we'll get the radiator on, new silicone hoses, and throw a digital gauge in her. Drop that oil out of that crankcase, see what's going on. Previous owner did tell me that it has a fresh top end rebuild. I'm not going to go that deep into this engine because it does run really good. And that'll probably be down the road in the future. We'll do a rebuild. So that's our plan. Now let's get to work. So with the carb done, throttle done, come over here, I got the reeds. They're all cleaned. I did separate them off camera. We're gonna put a gasket on it, put a little sealant in between this and the reeds, put that back on, throw this inside the air cleaner, put a little air cleaner oil on it. Here's the air box, plastic welded some of the cracks. It is far from pretty, but it is rigid again. And that's kind of what's a little more important to me than the looks. I don't see as much dust and water getting in there as easily. We'll throw our oil in. That's where we're going to start. We're going to throw this oil in. I'm just doing the whole liter. It's 900 milliliters, so it's going to get a smudge extra. New plug on there because the plastic one feels like it's falling apart. We'll throw a spark plug, gas cap, because the seal on the original one is starting to leak. Silicone hoses. This was a painstaking effort, but it was probably close to 40% blocked. Opened up all the fins, let that air back through it. We'll put on the gauge. I showed you the throttle cable. There's a gas tank. Silencer's gonna go back on. There's the oil that I'm surprised I haven't kicked and dumped yet. I still might. I'm just debating on when. And the clutch cable. All the clutch lever and cable and all the linkage is back together on it and ready to go on. So let's get all this stuff installed. I also want to show you the wires. So I didn't really talk about this, I don't think, earlier in the video, where all these wires were just kind of hanging down here. You know, previous owner or the owner before got rid of, oh look, just noticed that the engine mount bolt is loose. We'll address that too. But all the wiring was just kind of hanging down here because they deleted the headlight, they deleted all the controls, and just have a kill switch on it. All I did was just clean it all up, tuck it back in, put it in this chintzy wire loom. I'm not a big fan of it, but it does do the job. I also took the coil wire and made that about a foot shorter because, I mean, it ran all down here, like completely unnecessary. You're just asking something to grab it and hit it. So just kind of that tucks up a little bit tighter. The wires come up through here and they run up to the kill switch. So everything's nice and neat, doesn't bind, doesn't grab anything. And now we'll get the rest of it on. my wife asked me if I was going to start it, you know, see if everything runs, see how it goes. But no, I'm giving you the raw deal. We'll see what happens. So since the last time it ran, I've cleaned up the wiring. I've cleaned up, you know, things associated with the coolant. We did the carburetor. So I kind of affected some things that could, you know, kind of turn us the other direction that we have to diagnose and try and figure out. But I'm kind of confident that we did everything the way we did, the way it should be done. And now let's just see if she's gonna fire. I'm gonna kick her over a couple times, kind of get her belly filled a little bit with some fuel. I do have the fuel on. I got some okay gas in here, pre-mix. Have been filling the carb for a minute. Actually quite a few minutes. Nothing's leaking out of the overflow. I do expect that we're gonna have to add more antifreeze when she kind of flows it and burps it and stuff like that. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, let's see. A couple shots. Just kind of fill her belly a little bit. All right, let's give her a kick. Ooh, she's gonna fire. Come on. Kickstart. Come on, baby. You want to. What do we need? What do you want? She's a little rich. I'll deal with that tuning as we go. I may mess with it just a little bit, but you know, right there, it's just kind of showing me that all that work was definitely worth it. If you got yourself a machine and she just needs all this little stuff, it's worth it. Just expect it's gonna take some time. And you know, keep that bike running, man. Bring her back to life. That's kind of what I'm just about. I love bringing these bikes up to like a level that's, you know, makes them safe, makes them fun, and just because it's no fun when you break down on the trails, man. I mean, stuff happens. We all know that. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath from all the kicking. But you know, keep up on the maintenance. Get them safe. Don't just run them hard and put them away wet. You know, you really want to keep these bikes alive, and it just takes this little stuff. Now, coming up on the next video with this bike, we're going to take care of the back end of things. All right, we've been kind of working our way from front engine to back. It's kind of how I like to do it. And we're gonna take care of like the drive chain. I wanna make some fender mounts just to help keep the fenders from sagging. And we got a couple other things in store. So again, keep your bike running, man. It's worth it. I really appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you watching. And I'll see you on the next one. Later.